Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, hey man, what's up? Hey man, how you doing? What are you listening to? Listening to some rock and roll, some heavy metal. Excuse me? You're listening to what now? Rock and roll? Metal? Ain't that like devil music? Come on, man. I'm not listening to that. I ain't got time for this. You don't want to listen on the weekend? It doesn't sound like just noise and screaming. Sounds like devil music? Bro, I got a Bible verse on this shirt. This is a Christian metal band. I don't know what you're talking about. Dude, I listen to The Weeknd as well. You know that a lot of artists in the rock and metal scene, their inspirations come from pop and rap and other genres of music. Maybe I should give it a chance. Why not? I mean, it can't be all as bad as I just said, right? Yeah, man. Give it a shot. Excuse me. You interrupted me. I was listening to My Noise. Loser.
Well, you made it past the skit and those two obnoxious bums. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video.
The categories I have listed, there's 5. I have the Metal Gods, the Band Above Glam, the Goth Giants, the Metal Millennium, and the Future of Metal. And all the bands listed in these categories are as follows. I'd like to start with the Metal Gods. I got Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, and Judas Priest. The old geezers here, Black Sabbath. They were the inventors of heavy metal and a lot of doom metal, any other subgenre of metal. Everything started with these fellas right here. All right. You have the iconic voice of Ozzy Osbourne. You have the great guitarist and Tony Iommi. You have Geezer Butler, who's one of the best bass players ever. And you had Bill Ward at drums. That was a goddamn supergroup. The album I'd recommend for Black Sabbath, and again, too, is Paranoid, which has some of their biggest tracks ever, and I know a lot of you guys know them. You got Paranoid, War Pigs. Come on, Iron Man. You know Iron Man. Yeah. If you don't know what I'm talking about at all, especially with Black Sabbath, come on. Don't disappoint me. Don't make Georgie cry. Paranoid is the go-to album for Black Sabbath. There's plenty of other that you could get into down the road, but that would be the one to start off with to see if you genuinely like metal. The next band in the category of Metal Gods is my favorite, Iron Maiden. And Iron Maiden has been doing it for a while, 50 years. And I gotta tell you, it's a wild ride with these guys. As you can see here, you got Bruce Dickinson, who's one of the craziest vocalists I've ever seen. His personal life is just wild, and his accomplishments. But besides the glaze there, this band is amazing. You know, they came out at a time where Black Sabbath was already established, bands were popping off, and in Britain over there, the great old Brits were having a new wave of British heavy metal. And Iron Maiden was one of the front runners of that genre, along with Judas Priest. They have 6 members currently in the band. They got 3 guitarists, mind you. Not 1, not 2, you got 3.
What's the album you recommend the most to my virgin metal ears? Well, I would recommend The Number of the Beast from 1982. The Number of the Beast was an album that I heard constantly growing up as a kid, especially the singles. A lot of you should know them. They have Run to the Hills, they have The Number of the Beast, Hallowed Be Thy Name. And yeah, it's everything you can ask for in a metal album. It sold so many records. I think The Number of the Beast is just perfect for you.
The next band, and the last one I have in the category of the Metal Gods, is Judas Priest. To me, it's essential to have Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, and Judas Priest here to recommend to you. To me, they're the 3 most important bands that paved the way for modern metal and rock in general. And Judas Priest is no different. They also have another extraordinary vocalist, and Rob Halford. Judas Priest in particular, it's been growing on me a lot more than previously. You know, I just stuck with Iron Maiden. Black Sabbath I just got into the last 5 years. But Judas Priest, I always skip by. I knew the hits. I heard them on the radio.
But damn, when I heard the album Screaming for Vengeance, which is one of their other popular records, I was sold. I recommended Paranoid, The Number of the Beast, and Screaming for Vengeance. You've got another thing coming, because we got a band that came out in the 80s that kind of defied the genre that they were placed in. I only have one band in this category, and it's the band above glam. So, as Black Sabbath and the Metal Gods established their sound and their iconic riffs, vocals, drums, Dokken came out in an era of the 80s where guys were dressing like chicks. There was a lot of ballads and stuff about love this and love that and blah, 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 blue. But Dokken to me is still metal at heart. Yeah, they're a band all about love and all that stuff, just like Motley Crue did and Poison. But Dokken just had the chops, man. They have a lot of great songs. And the album I want to give you from Dokken is Back for the Attack from 1987. But Back for the Attack had some great singles. There's songs like Dream Warriors that was featured in a Nightmare on Elm Street film. And it has a great music video. I recommend you see that. They also have Kiss of Death, Burning Like a Flame, Heaven Sent. There's a lot of great singles and a lot of great tracks here. Now, if you're looking for your rock and your metal to be all about love and ballads, I give Dokken a great chance here. And to me, they kind of beat the cheesiness of Twisted Sister, Motley Crue, like that whole era. Check them out. And without further ado, the Goth Giants is referring to the band Typo Negative that really love the color green. As you can see, it's all over me, and you'll see it present in the videos. Typo Negative is the goth band. Okay, there's been nothing like them. This band had a once in a lifetime singer and bass player. You had Peter Steele. The guy was a goddamn giant that had a lot of, let's just say, sex appeal, okay? A lot of women liked looking at this guy and hearing him sing. A lot of songs about death, about love, and some drug use. Tying into the whole lovey-dovey side, we got an album for you called Bloody Kisses. Now, this released in the 90s at a time where the whole glam phase was dead, pretty much. Grunge was coming in, but Typo Negative didn't get affected by that. They kept their cool. They kept their shtick in their goth phase. And they released a beautiful album. I would definitely recommend the track Christian Woman. It is so catchy. It's music to my ears. You'll hear the lyrics and at first you'll be like, what the hell's going on? You're going to like it. Trust me. Everybody loves a good love song here and there. Typo Negative, as you see here present, are one of a kind. There'll never be another Typo Negative. There'll never be another Peter Steele. And that's why I'm going to cherish that forever in the albums I've heard from them. Give them a shot. You'll love the Jolly Green Giant. So, you survived through the Goth Giants, and now we're into the next category, the Metal Millennium. Not the new Metal Millennium. I want to talk about bands that thrived in the 2000s despite existing with new metal. And let me tell you, these guys here, In Flames, are no exception. They've been doing it since the 90s, but one of their best-selling albums, Clayman, is what popped off in 2000. And pretty much forever. I mean, their biggest track from that album is Only for the Weak. And I gotta tell you, the vocals here are a bit harsher, but holy hell, that album, hearing the whole album and that song Only for the Weak in the gym, you're gonna feel pumped as shit, alright? No one's gonna stand in your path. Just you and utter destruction. Another band that's in this category, we have Seven Dust. And Seven Dust started off with some new metal inspirations. I mean, they made a great record in that genre, Home, which is present from this performance. I mean, look at that guy. That's their vocalist, LeJean Witherspoon. He's got one of the best voices in hard rock and metal. He has so much soul and passion into his lyrics, into his voice. I recommend checking out Seven Dust and their album Animosity. Now, Animosity came out in 2001, And it's got songs like Praise. It's got softer songs like Angel's Son. It's a very emotional one. And the other tracks I would recommend is Trust, Crucified, Shine. Yeah, give Animosity a shot. It is pure animosity. Another band I would highly recommend from the Metal Millennium is Avenged Sevenfold. They've had a lot of success in the 2000s and onward. And their album, City of Evil, this album kicks ass, front and back. You got songs like Beast and the Harlot, you got MIA, you got Binded in Chains, you got Backcountry. I mean, there's so much to like about this one. And I recommend you give this one a spin. You can't go wrong with any of the bands here in the Metal Millennium. You got In Flames, Seven Dust, and Avenged Sevenfold. Let's kick some ass. And now we discuss the future of metal. And I got two bands here in this category, one of which being Ghost. Now, I've spoken about Ghost briefly in my first video as an introduction to the channel. And Ghost is a one-of-a-kind band. I love them so much. The whole stage presence, the whole theatrics, you can't go wrong with something as cool as that. A recent success with their latest album, Skeletor, that would be the album I'd recommend. I can give you 3 singles right off the bat that would get you hooked. I should preface, Ghost isn't as heavy as many people would say, and a lot of metalheads be like, well, they're just not metal. When you hear their music, there's a lot of heavy metal influences in there, and their riffs, everything is good. Back to Skeletor. Whether you consider it heavy or not, it's great music, okay? Yeah. Singles I'd recommend is Peacefield, Lacrima, and Satanized. All 3 of those songs in a row is just perfect. And I know for sure a lot of ladies would love this. A lot of guys would love this. Everybody loves this. One band that surprised me months ago that I just did not know of up until that point was Sleep Theory. Now, Sleep Theory is some hard rock. It even has some R&B stuff in there. I've heard some DJ scratches here and there, you know, a little turntable. Yeah, and some catchy lyrics that would sound like pop, but no. This shit's some hardcore rock, and it's got some metal influences in there. Think of them as a mixture of Seven Dust tied in with Linkin Park in a way, like the way that new metal used to sound. And you put that all together, it's got a modern production, and a little bit of Chris Daughtry in there too. Shout out to Chris Daughtry. Sleep Theory had a great album come out months ago called Afterglow. It is beautiful. It was a beautiful debut. I was certainly shocked by it and how it sounded. All the tracks were catchy. Everything was just stuck in my head. That's one of the songs called Stuck in My Head on that album. Yeah, it will be stuck. A lot of these lyrics will be in you. You'll be singing along for a while. Now, I want to say the tracks that I enjoyed the most and I would recommend to all of you is Afterglow, Stuck in My Head, Gravity has been really catchy. You also have Words Are Worthless, Static, the whole album, the 3, that one's got a great chorus. These guys are geniuses, and I highly recommend Sleep Theory. No matter how old metal started off in the 70s up until now, it's never going to go away, and it's going to be so accessible to everybody. You have everybody of all nationalities, all creeds, all religions. Everyone listens to this stuff. I think it's a lot better to listen to than country. I got a hot take. I'm not really a fan of country music. I'm open for all of you in the comments to share any bands, any artists, no matter what genre or what you're into. Name an album, name a song. I'm willing to check it out and put it on the channel. I look forward to you guys checking these bands out. I've been your host at Metal Spins. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.